Shave and a haircut. 25 quid. But it looks alright, doesn't it? So, I've had a shave and a haircut, and it was 25 quid. But, it needed doing. I look like a right scruff. A scrubber, I look like, when I looked on my video last night. Proper rough. Right, let's get some seeds. Hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Mafinda, aka Tony. And on today's episode, we're going to be sowing some seeds. Sowing the seeds of love. Well, not really. We're going to be sowing some beets. Now, these are cylindra, which are cylindrical beetroots. This is a form of, it's a beet leaf, this, rather than anything else. It's chard, rainbow chard. You can get Swiss chards, you can get bright lights chard. This is rainbow chard, and I'm growing this one because I like the colours of it. Very colourful. And the beet family is fantastic, full of beta carotene, which is wonderful for you. Good for the blood, very good. So that's it's got beta carotene, calcium, iron, and folic acid. Good for the ladies and the gentlemen, as you can see there. Now we're coming to the end of March, so now's the time really. They're all sort of March sowers, but because we're in northern climes, we're in the great northwest of England. We tend to leave it a few weeks later. The wise man does anyway, before he starts off his beets. And a lot of other things. I started off some cruciferous vegetables coming up for about a month ago now, and I was a bit worried for them. But I kept them well protected, and they've come on a treat. I'll show you those later. But first, let's get these sown. Alright, so the first thing that we need for this little exercise is some compost. And this is the multi-purpose compost that you saw me getting yesterday from Paul Green. Oh! Paul Green Nurseries in Charnock Richard. And you need some scissors to get into that. So I'm going to cut open the bag, and then we'll take a look inside and see what we've got. Now that's your multi-purpose compost that you get from Paul Green. You could make a soup out of the very loam, couldn't you? But believe it or not, there's lots of lumps and bumps in that need to be composted down further. It's all vegetable matter, that. But it's from wood chips and things like this. You always get little lumps like that. So what we need to do is we need to sieve it. And look, I'm a lucky boy because I've got a sieve. Look at that. Now those are 5mm holes apart from that one where it's split there, which is probably a lot more. But the majority of the sieve are those 5mm holes. So you've got like a grid of those 5mm, and it's probably about a 0.5mm wide wire, very thin wire that runs across. So we're going to sieve that through that, so the particles that come through and from that should be no bigger really than the holes that you can see there in that, and we're going to sieve it into there. So that's your first port of call. With smaller seeds, it's ideal really to go even smaller than that, but these aren't particularly small. They look like little crowns. I'll show you in a minute. These seeds, they look like little crowns, and they're kind of like clustered sometimes. But what we want to be doing with these is I'm going to be cluster planting them anyway. So each one of the cells, using the bigger one. Oh, we're not using that. We're using the bigger ones like that. Once I've cleaned it, got rid of all the incy-wincy spiders out of it. Once we've cleaned that, I'm going to be using these ones, and there's going to be like three seeds in each one. They call that cluster planting. It's going to be cluster planted. A cluster of them go into the cells. So I'm going to be doing them. I'm going to be doing, I think, 6 trays of that with 3 in. So 3 6, 18 beetroots in each one, yeah, and then there's going to be 6 of them, so 18 sixes, whatever that is. I'll tell you in a minute when I think. Hello folks, so I've just put 3 handfuls into the sieve, into my sieve, and what I'm going to do basically is, well, first of all I'm going to get rid of that rough stuff there at the back. That is unsieved at the back, and I don't want that getting mixed up with my sieved stuff. So I've got a bucket. I'm going to put it in the bucket so we have a clean canvas for our sifting and sieving. Something like that, better, isn't it? Because this is going to be sieved into this, and the fine mix will fall through obviously and be gathered in the tray, and you'll see all the lumps appear, the lumps and bumps of undigested, uncomposted material. So even though the pole green stuff is great, you still get a lot of rough stuff left behind, a bit of rough. And it's full of uncomposted bits of wood and chunks of fibrous material that I don't want in my seed mix. You see, don't want that in our seed mix. So we get that out, we get shut of it in here, in our bucket. And that's a lot finer. Not perfectly fine, you'd have to get a finer sieve for it to be perfect, but it's not too bad. I'll carry on doing that until I've got a big pile of it, and then I'll get back to you. Alright guys, now hopefully you can see that this is a much finer consistency than that rough stuff we had before. It's much finer, and that's what we want for the smaller seeds. Because when they hatch out of the little eggs, or out of the little seed pods, whatever you want to call them, they'll send out little tendrils, little micro roots, and then they'll be trying to seek out nutrition, and there's no nutrition in this cell, so they'll carry on. The hope is that they just carry on growing, the roots, and they're seeking out that nutrition within the seed itself. That'll sustain them for a couple of weeks, easy. The energy within the seed itself that will sustain the plant, and then it will send its roots out and force its way up through the surface of these, and send its stem up and its first leaves out, and draw energy then from the sun, etc., and continue to grow. So they'll last about 6 weeks before they start to feel it and start suffering from that malnutrition, because they won't have any for about the first 5 or 6 weeks, these ones, and then they'll be ready for planting out, and that's where they'll get the nutrition when they go out onto the plot, because they'll have prepared the land prior to that with the correct nutrition for the specified plant, and away they'll go. Or they have done the last few years. The last 7 years actually, we've been doing beetroot, and they've always done well. They've never done crap. And well, I'm telling lies though. They didn't do so well one particular summer when they bolted. It was a very hot summer. It was the second, I think it was either the first or the second one. Might have been the first, 2020, something like that, of lockdown. You know, when we weren't supposed to go out the house and that, they kept us inside our houses and said, oh, you don't need to go out, you don't need to socialise. And it was the best summer that we've ever had in the UK. It was then. So now they're at that stage, and the cells are nicely filled up. I'll start off, I think, with the, in no particular order, these Bonner beetroots. What I like to do with these packs is, you can see the dates on the bottom there. There's a date on the bottom. which is a sort of use but sow by date December 2027. So we've a couple of years for these yet. And you do get quite a few seeds in the pack, so I'm just going to open them up carefully and retain the packet. And inside these king seeds, they're in another pack. So you've got the outer pack there with all the information on it, and then there's the inner pack with the actual seeds in it. And so again, if I carefully open these, there's these little tabs either side. If I carefully open those, I don't tend to do it over the compost in case one jumps out and I lose it in the compost. Let's try and open it up. Making a pig's ear of this, huh? I should use my scissors. Open it up, tip a few out. Yeah, tip a few out, and then make an impression. Again, it's not going to have to be the full finger depth or finger section depth. It's about half of that for these. Just about a centimetre here. And then bob them in, and because we're close to planting, I just pop a few in, 2 or 3 in. In the centre of our little impressions. Do the same again. Like ASMR, this, isn't it? ASMR with your friend Tony at the Little Farmer's Farm. I hope you're all having a beautiful day today out there in garden land. We're sowing some seeds today. Hope you enjoy it. Like ASMR. ASMR. You can get them all on YouTube. Who's that I watch? Oh, watch your SRP. SRP ASMR. Check him out. He's an optician from somewhere in the Midlands. And I like them. I like them opticians ones. It's like a visit to the opticians and they do an eye test on you. I don't know, there's something, they're dead calming. I used to watch that See Here. Over in the United Kingdom, there was a programme for deaf people called See Here. And it was all like, you'd have somebody speaking quietly and they'd be doing sign language, there'd be somebody doing sign language as well. And it used to make me tingle when I was a kid. Weird, isn't it? Used to get tingles. And you get the same from this ASMR. I think that is, what's his name? Bob something. In that used to do all the paintings. Bob, big afro here, like, you know, white guy with a beard and an afro. Bob something. That was ASMR as well. Anyway, I'm digressing. So the seeds are in. And so we're just going to label them up now with what they are. Now these are... Oh, the pack as well. Now we're going to be using, I'm going to be filling 2 of these up. So there'll be 2 of those, 2 trays of those, 2 trays of the chard and 2 trays of the Solyndra. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to reseal that. So I'll squeeze as much air out as I can and then fold it over a couple of times, the pack. Reseal it, if you like, the pack. Keep the air out. And then that pack can go back into the information pack that it came in, back into there. And then it'll be resealed. But I'll still keep the information about, you know, when it's used by dated or sold by dated. I'll just pause you for a second because I've dropped my Sharpie. Okay. So that's Bonner, not Bono. If they were Bono, I wouldn't buy them. But it's Bonner beetroot, 25th of the 3rd, 25. And there we go. So they're ready now just to be dropped into the water, same as before. We're going to just place them into the watering trays and let them get off on the little travels. It's going to be going into the cold frame. Now the cold frame is inside Tiki tunnel number 1, so it's inside the polytunnel. So you've got 2 layers of protection really for when the nights get a bit colder. But these will be fine. These will be fine now in there. So they're not being planted out as yet. I'm going to leave them for about 4 weeks before they actually go out on the plot. But again, as babies, this is the little nursery for them. So they're going to go in there. So I'm going to do another one of those, and then I'm going to do your because we're doing these select what do you call it now? We've got March, April, May, June, and July to plant these, to sow these. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to be doing 2 trays of each successionally over the next 4 months, 4 to 5 months. All right. And the idea behind that is that they take about 3 months, 3 to 4 months really to get to a good mature size. 3 months you'll get the golf ball sizes. Leave them another month, you'll get the cricket ball sizes and beyond. But if you leave them too long, they get woody. So we're sowing these successionally because I like the golf ball size, ping pong and golf ball size beets when we're doing the round ones. And I quite like them sort of courgette size, like about 6 inches long, 6 to 8 inches long when we're doing the Solyndra ones. Because with the Solyndra ones, I slice them up before I preserve them, pickle and preserve them. But with the round ones, the deep red coloured round ones, tend to be sweeter. So I just like cooking them and eating them. Potentially we'll be pickling some of them up, but cook and pickle them. Have a bit of salt and balsamic vinegar when you cook them. Let them cool off a bit and then get stuck into them. But yeah, so like I say, every month for the next 4 or 5 months, this is what we're going to be doing. So in April, May, June and July, we're going to be setting more off. That is the plan. All right. As the land opens up and we're taking crops out, we'll be replacing those crops with these, because beetroot is fantastic for you, really is good for you. So we're growing quite a lot of that this year. See if you can zoom in on that. Where are you? There. Looks like a weird alien egg, doesn't it? Or a crown or something, doesn't it? Strange looking thing. Well, that's your beet seed. So yeah, those are today's sowings, boys and girls. The Solyndra, Rainbow Chard and Bonner. Beautiful. And there they are, about to be put to bed. So we've got the Bonner beetroot, we've got the Rainbow Chard and the Solyndra. Peas at the back. Dwarf French beans over there. That's ideal, that, because it keeps the measly mices out. I did sweet corn and peas one year, left them out there like an idiot, and the mice had the lot overnight. Let me just show you what we started off about 4 weeks ago in here. This one's cleaning out, isn't it? Right, mess. Pak choy, yeah, over there. Yes, All the year-round cauliflower there at the back, all the year-round cauliflower. We planted these in the tent last year and they did fantastically well, absolutely brilliantly well. 2 lots of broccoli there. Marathon broccoli and purple sprouting. So there's 2 lots of marathon there, 24 altogether, 24 collies, 12 pak choi, and some purple some purple sprouting. I might start some more pak choi off because I'm going to do that successionally. Only takes about 8 or 9 weeks really, pak choi, to be ready to harvest. So I might do that actually. I might start some more off next week or end of this week. That's been about a month now. And they'll be ready for going out in the next week or 2. At this rate. They're doing fantastically well in here. They started off over there in the other tunnel. They started off in here. And then we took them out when we put the peas in, which was a couple of weeks ago. So they had the first couple of weeks in here, and then they've had a couple of weeks in there. But yeah, it's all starting to come through now. This is the year, this is the time. Yeah, so it won't be long before those brassicas go out into the big tent. I love this tent. I absolutely love this tent. Look at it. It's majestic. It's majestic, this tent. Built with my 2 paws, this. It's brilliant. A walk-in brassica tent. I've got some notions about this as well for this year. What I potentially might do in here is section it off. Maybe not this year, but next year. I'm thinking of having a sort of airlock system. So as you walk in, all this will be brassicas still on this side. But I'll net it all off. From the doorway, I'll net it all the way along. Maybe do a bit of a section there and up. So I'll be putting some more of these braces in, and then that'll be a wall that walls off the actual brassica section from this section. And then I think I might leave that door open, so that this is your corridor where you walk in, and another wall goes here, and then there's another door. I'm going to put another door here. So this will be sectioned off. The brassicas will be sectioned off from this lot. And this lot will all be beans and peas. More beans, more peas. And then along the base, because the beans will only take up about 1 foot, and the peas, just do plantings here of whatever I fancy planting in front. Might even put marigolds in. I'll put some stuff, some flowers in to attract the bees. And so this bit will be sectioned off because you want the bees coming in. I'll leave that door open and the bees come in, pollinate all of the peas and the beans and what have you that are here. And then in this bit, it'll all be brassicas. So you don't want the pigeons and the cabbage white butterflies getting into here. This is the beauty of this tent. No cabbage whites can penetrate it. Once that door's shut, no cabbage whites can get in. And what I can do is potentially I can keep that door shut, but I would have to have larger holes. I'll just put chicken wire so the bees can get in and out, because the holes will be about that big. The bees can get in and out. But then this wall will be all netted with the scaffold debris netting to prevent them getting in at the brassicas on this side. Anyway, this is a fantastic brassica tent. We had the biggest cabbages, we had whopping cabbages, we had, in this section it was all broccoli, all calabrese and purple sprouting broccoli down this part. I think I got about 16 into here. And then the purple sprouting were down there. There's like 4 or 5, no, about 6 I think, purple sprouting. The rest of it was normal broccoli up to about there. And then it was cabbages. Sorry, it was cauliflower all around here. And then we had beetroots in that one. And we had like sort of spinach and pak choi and stuff there. And this was the same. This was all this. As you can see, you've got We had cauliflower in front of these, this curly kale, which is still going. It's turning into trees, Christmas trees, you see, starting to bolt. So I'll have to harvest all that this week and take it away and either freeze it or make that Chinese seaweed out of it. That's the kids like that. See that? Going to flower. So I might leave one to go to flower and collect the seeds off one of them. One or two maybe, of these. And just harvest all the leaves. But we've been eating this for months. Since about August last year. September, October, November. And it just keeps on coming. You see where we pluck the leaves off there? You're getting fresh growth coming through. You just got to be careful, some of the leaves are a bit manky, but they've held themselves well, these, over the months. And we have been picking it. Every time we've been coming down, we've done a pick. Got the leaves. Took some of the leaves. I'm waffling on, aren't I? But these beds have been fantastic. They grew the very best broccoli, purple sprouting broccoli, calabrese. And the cauliflowers were fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Massive. Bigger than your head in here last year. It's wonderful, wonderful. They're trying to stop people growing their own vegetables. That's been whispered because it's not environmentally friendly. What ridiculous notion is that? It's not environmentally friendly. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Carbon capture. What do these eat? CO2. They breathe this in of a fashion. And what do they convert it to? Oxygen. Anyway, no politics on this channel, boys and girls. Only fresh growth and sustenance, beta carotenes, antioxidants, all the good stuff, all the plant-based food that's absolutely fantastic for you. I'd have chickens on here if they'd let me, but they won't. Can't have any livestock on this particular allotment. We are thinking about chickens actually, but you've got to care for them, haven't you? You've got to care for the chickens. Have hens, you know, get the eggs from the hens. Anyway, that's for another show. That's a potential for another show. Ideally, I'd love to have a small holding. I have got a small holding, but an actual physical construction called a small holding, where you can have a few goats, you know, milk the goats, all that kind of stuff. Maybe a cow, a couple of pigs, you know. Anyway, if you've been a lady, you've been beautiful, fantastic and fragrant. If you're a gentleman, you've been forthright, virile and masculine. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between, and we love you all. You're all God's creation, aren't you? As long as you're a nice person, we love you all. Doesn't matter what race, creed, colour, religion. Doesn't matter. As long as you're a good person. I was going to leave you with a sunset, but it's getting a bit too low in the sky, the sun. I'll leave you with a contrail. It's not a chemtrail, guys. It's a contrail, a condensation trail. Chemtrails are different. They occupy the entire sky. Contrails disappear shortly after the plane has gone past. But I'll leave you with that. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'll see you tomorrow. This is day 2 of a week on the plots. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like what we're doing, please comment, like and subscribe, and don't forget. And then you won't miss another episode. Ring that bell. See you in a bit, guys. Take care. Beautiful down here. Very peaceful. Bye-bye, guys. Have a nice night.